It happens almost like clockwork. You fall asleep just fine. Maybe you even feel tired enough to sleep for 12 hours. But then suddenly, your eyes open. You look at the clock. It is 3 a.m. or maybe 3:15. The house is silent. The world is asleep. But you are wide awake. Your mind starts racing. Why is this happening? If I don't sleep now, tomorrow is ruined. You try to close your eyes. You try to count sheep, but the sleep just vanishes. If this sounds familiar, I want you to know something important right now. You are not broken. This phenomenon, waking up specifically between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., is one of the most common complaints I hear from people over 60. In traditional circles, this time is sometimes called the witching hour or the wolf hour. But in modern medical science, it is actually a biological signal. It is your body trying to tell you something specific about your liver, your blood sugar, or your stress hormones. In this video, we are going to walk through exactly why your body pulls you out of deep sleep at this specific time. And more importantly, I am going to teach you a 1-minute bedtime ritual at the end of this video that can help you reset your internal clock so you can finally sleep through the night. Let's take a deep breath and let's begin. The architecture of senior sleep. To understand the 3 a.m. wake-up call, we first have to understand how your sleep architecture changes as you age. When we were teenagers, our sleep cycles were like a heavy anchor. We dropped down into deep, restorative sleep and stayed there for hours. You could sleep through a thunderstorm. But as we cross the threshold of 60, that anchor becomes lighter. We spend less time in delta sleep, that is the deep, physical restoration phase, and more time in stage 1 and stage 2 light sleep. This means the threshold for waking is much lower. A creaky floorboard, a slight change in temperature, or a shift in the blankets is now enough to pull you to the surface. However, waking up at 3 a.m. specifically is usually not about noise. It is internal. It is chemical. Let's look at the primary culprit, the blood sugar roller coaster, the nocturnal crash, the Somogyi effect. Imagine your body as a hybrid car. During the day, it runs on the fuel you eat, but at night, when you are fasting, it switches to battery power. That battery is your liver. Your liver holds a reserve of sugar called glycogen. Its job is to slowly release this energy throughout the night to keep your brain running and your heart beating while you dream. Here's the problem. If you eat a dinner that is high in simple carbohydrates, pasta, white rice, bread, or if you enjoy that sweet treat or glass of wine right before bed, your blood sugar spikes early in the night. Your body responds by flooding your system with insulin to bring that sugar down, and it works too well. Around 3 a.m., hours after that meal, your blood sugar doesn't just return to normal, it crashes. It drops too low. This is called hypoglycemia. Your brain senses this drop and panics. It thinks you are starving, so it sends an emergency signal to your adrenal glands to release cortisol and adrenaline. Think about that. Adrenaline is the fight or flight hormone. It is designed to make you run from a bear. So, at 3 a.m., your body literally injects you with liquid energy to raise your blood sugar back up. The result? You wake up instantly. Your heart might be beating a little faster. You feel alert. You feel awake. This isn't insomnia. This is a survival mechanism triggered by what you ate 6 hours ago. If you find yourself waking up wide awake rather than groggy, this blood sugar crash is almost certainly the cause. The cortisol spike and the anxiety loop. Now, let's assume your diet is perfect, but you still wake up. We need to talk about the stress hormone cycle. Naturally, our cortisol levels follow a rhythm. They are lowest at midnight and start to rise around 6 a.m. to help us wake up with energy. But for many of us, chronic low-level stress, worrying about health, finances, or family, keeps our baseline cortisol high. When you combine high baseline stress with the natural lightness of senior sleep, your body's wake-up signal fires prematurely. Instead of the cortisol rising at 6 a.m., it spikes at 3 a.m. And then, the secondary problem begins, the anxiety loop. You see the time. You think, oh no, not again. You start calculating how many hours are left before you have to get up. This worry releases more cortisol. You've now accidentally trained your brain that 3 a.m. is a time for worrying, not sleeping. Your brain begins to anticipate this wake-up call, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. It is a difficult cycle to break, but it is possible. The bladder myth. It's not just about drinking water. Now, we have to address the most common reason people think they wake up, the bathroom. You might assume that you wake up simply because you drink too much water before bed. But for many people over 60, the problem isn't water intake. The problem is gravity in your heart. This is a condition doctors called Nocturia, but the cause often starts in your ankles, not your bladder. During the day, when you are standing or sitting, gravity pulls fluids down into your legs and feet. If you have even mild circulation issues, or what we call peripheral edema, that fluid gets trapped there. You might notice your socks leave a deeper mark on your ankles in the evening. But here's the trick your body plays on you. When you lie flat to sleep, gravity is no longer holding that fluid down. It rushes back into your bloodstream. Your kidneys suddenly have to filter all this excess fluid, and they work overtime to turn it into urine. So, at 3 o'clock a.m., your bladder is full, not because of the glass of water you had at dinner, but because your body is finally processing the fluid that was stuck in your legs all day. If you ignore this mechanism, no amount of stopping water at 6 p.m. will help you. You have to address the swelling, which we will cover in the ritual at the end of this video. The temperature trap. The final biological trigger is one we rarely talk about: thermal regulation. To stay in deep sleep, your core body temperature needs to drop by about 2 to 3 degrees Fahrenheit. Your body achieves this by sending heat out through your hands and your feet. But as we age, our circulation to our extremities, our hands and feet, becomes less efficient. If your hands and feet are cold because of poor circulation, they cannot release heat. This keeps your core temperature too high. Around 3 a.m., as your body moves through a sleep cycle, that slightly elevated temperature acts like an alarm clock. You might wake up feeling hot, throwing the covers off, only to freeze 10 minutes later. It is a battle between your core and your skin, and it is a battle that wakes you up. So, we have the sugar crash, the cortisol spike, the fluid shift, and the temperature trap. It seems like a lot working against you. But now, let's turn the tables. The 1-minute reset ritual. You don't need expensive pills to fix this. You need to speak your body's language. I want to teach you a specific 1-minute bedtime ritual. This is designed to stabilize your blood sugar, reduce the fluid in your legs, and calm the cortisol spike before it happens. There are 3 steps. You can do them right before you get into bed. Narrator. Step 1 is the adrenal cocktail. This is controversial to some, but effective for the 3 a.m. wake up. I want you to take a small sip of warm water, just a sip, and dissolve a tiny pinch of high-quality sea salt or Himalayan salt in it. Why salt? Salt helps lower adrenaline levels. It also aids in the production of the antidiuretic hormone, the hormone that tells your kidneys to stop producing so much urine. A tiny pinch supplies the minerals your adrenal glands need to stay calm, preventing that panic signal we talked about earlier. Step 2 is the fluid drain. Remember the fluid in your legs? We need to move it before you sleep, not during. 1 hour before bed, lie on the floor or your bed and put your legs up against the wall, or elevate them on a stack of pillows for just 10 minutes. This uses gravity to drain that fluid back to your kidneys while you are still awake. You will likely use the bathroom once before bed, emptying your system so your kidneys can rest at 3 a.m. Step 3 is the most important, the vagus hum. If you do wake up at 3 a.m., do not look at the clock. Do not check your phone. Stay in bed, close your eyes, and keep your mouth closed. Inhale deeply through your nose, and on the exhale, create a low, vibrating humming sound, like a bumblebee. Do this for 6 breaths. This vibration physically stimulates the vagus nerve, which runs right through your vocal cords. It sends an immediate signal to your brain to switch off fight or flight and switch on rest and digest. It is a biological off switch for anxiety. Your body is resilient. It wants to sleep. It just needs the right conditions. Try avoiding heavy carbs at dinner to stop the sugar crash. Elevate your legs to stop the fluid shift. And if you wake up, use the vagus hum to vibrate yourself back to sleep. You are not broken. You are just navigating a new chapter of your physiology. If you found this explanation helpful, if it made sense to you, more than just drink warm milk, please click the subscribe button below. We are building a community here dedicated to understanding our bodies, not just aging in them. See you in the next video, and sleep well.